Hi, y'all. Welcome to a new episode of the Gyan Dive. I'm so excited to be here. So today, again, we're going to do something a little bit different, and I think this podcast is heavily inspired by my personal life and an incident that I underwent a few days ago, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this. So, this episode is called Healing Your Relationship with Your Body, an Ongoing Process. Yes, we're gonna dive into it. I'm gonna be super raw about my own struggles with it, and hopefully you guys can relate, and hopefully we can all learn from this because, again, I'm not perfect. I am learning as well, and I hope that this podcast not only helps me, but you guys too. So, with that, let's get into it. Huh, body image, yes. Um, so I'm still in the process of healing my relationship with my body. This isn't an episode from someone who knows it all, who's figured it out, but it's from someone who's still learning, just like I'm sure you all are. And this topic does feel super vulnerable, and I was in two minds as to like whether I should talk about this or not, but I decided to go through with it because it's been on my mind heavily, and I think everyone is going through something similar, and I hope that this episode helps you and me through this journey. Healing isn't linear again, it's messy, emotional, and ongoing. Like I said, this topic was triggered by an incident that I underwent, and I just wanted to come on here and kind of talk about it, have a little chat. So grab your favorite drink, grab a notepad, grab some tissues, because this can be triggering, so trigger warning. But I'm gonna go through with it. So with that, let's get into it. So let's talk about the moment that triggered me, that triggered this topic. So I don't know, like I said on my episode about like locking in love, I've been trying to get into a routine where like I go to the gym, I exercise, I eat well. Like I've been eating like one meal a day, which is I don't promote that, but that's what works for me. So I've been eating a solid meal once a day, and also like being protein focused in my diet and eating clean, all that good stuff. So basically, I was like, oh, like I've been working hard. Let's see, like, what happened on the scale. Like, let me just hop onto the scale and see what happened. I stepped on the scale and I gained 2 pounds seemingly overnight because, yeah, like I weighed myself the previous day. It was a certain weight and it was 2 pounds more the next day. And I'm like, what the hell? And I really didn't think that would trigger me that much as I think it would, but it did. It did. I had a really heavy emotional reaction. I was super, super upset, and I like almost instantly started crying. I was super upset that whole night. I couldn't like sleep properly. I did not think it would trigger me that much, but you know what? Even though I thought like even though I've been consistent with the gym and I've been eating one meal a day, I still feel like I failed. Like, how is this even possible? Like, what is going on? And that small number like ruined my mood for that whole day. So I guess that was my wake up call, realizing how fragile my peace with my body still is. Because I thought like, okay, like I'm fine with my body, like I've accepted it finally. I mean, I've undergone a struggle with my body image almost my whole life, as many women do. But in that moment, I realized that it was very much still there, it wasn't gone. Um, Yeah, so that moment affected me a lot. It sent me into a spiral, and as soon as that happened, I started thinking of ways that I could further cut down my food, which is super unhealthy, and that shouldn't be the case. And I was very self-aware, but at the same time, I couldn't stop myself from doing that. So, I mean, 2 pounds isn't that big of a deal, you might say, right? Like, it's not really a big deal. but it's more about control. Like, control makes you feel safe, right? Especially when life is unpredictable. When you at least have control over your own body and how you look, that makes you feel safe, I think. So I realized if I can control my food, my body, my appearance, maybe I can control everything else. And I just realized that that's not peace, it's fear disguised as discipline. So that could show up in other areas of your life, like academics, emotions, and relationships, and how all of that at the end of the day is tied to your self-worth. How can it be that fragile? How can 2 pounds dictate your mood, right? Like, how can it affect you so deeply? Um, I don't know. I want to come on here and kind of talk about my own journey with like my body and stuff. Growing up, when I was so basically, I don't know if a lot of you guys know about this, but I grew up in America. Like I was here until I was 8 years old, and then my parents moved us all to India. And then I was there for 10 years until I came back for college, right? When I was 18. So basically, when I was here and when I was with my mom, I was pretty like skinny, pretty okay for a kid. And then going to India, like my grandma would feed me a lot of junk food. And also, mind you, my mom was kind of an almond mom. Like she had her own issues with her body, which she often projected onto me. But I was rarely given like junk food. And then lo and behold, when I come to India, my grandma is like, as a loving grandma, dotes on you. She's like, oh, eat this, eat that. Like, as a result, I became a little chubby, but I don't think I was fat in any way. But from that moment on, my mom, my own mother, started calling me fat. And so did the other kids. So from there started my body image issues. Yay. Yeah, so I was pretty chubby for a majority of my middle school and like high school. In high school, I like slimmed down a little bit, but during COVID, I gained weight again. And my then boyfriend said something very triggering to me. He was like, my friend was looking at your pictures from before and he was like, oh, she looks so skinny here, which inadvertently means, oh my God, you're so fat. And I was getting that same message from other people around me at that time. So then I decided, you know what? I'm going to show them I can be skinny too. I am not fat. I started doing HIIT workouts every single day, cut down on food, would eat completely clean, would not eat any sort of junk food for 3 months before I came to America. I lost a lot of weight, and then everyone was like, oh my God, you look so skinny, this. From there really started my journey with restricting my food and diet and all that. So after that, I went through a series of fluctuations. Like moving here was all like going to college was came with its own set of struggles, and I gained weight, lost weight, gained weight, and lost weight, and yeah. But the whole time, my like calorie consciousness existed, continued to exist. Um, I thought restriction and overworking were signs of strength, but real discipline doesn't make you miserable, it makes you grounded. Discipline rooted in fear will always collapse. Discipline rooted in care sustains you. Sometimes eating another meal is harder, but that's a discipline that heals. So I like basically like throughout this time, I was very calorie conscious and I gained weight. And then lo and behold came another man. With him, I ate a lot of food because I guess I was happy, or like we would eat together a lot. As a result, this is my sophomore year of college where I was going through a lot of other struggles too, alongside being in a toxic relationship with a guy. I gained some more weight. I gained 20 pounds almost, and that same guy fat shamed me a lot for that. And that I think truly impacted me a lot to my core. And then after I left that guy, I was like, I don't care. I'm only gonna eat healthy now. I'm gonna become skinny. Stuck to a strict diet, which was not as strict as it would later become. But as a result, I eventually came to the point where I lost that 20 pounds. And then finally, everyone's like, oh my God, you look so skinny. You look so good. You look so good. I further wanted to get skinny after that. So I continued. to the point where I like went to Spain at the beginning of this year and I saw how everyone was eating like whole foods and blah blah blah. And I'm like, you know what? I want to do that. So then I was like, I'm only gonna eat whole foods. But I reframed that in a way where like I was like, oh, I'm doing this to like be healthy. I'm doing this because it's good for my body, not to lose weight. I love my body, and I was doing it through that lens. That's when I thought I'd healed my relationship. But I ate clean. Like when I say clean, I ate the same 2 meals every single day, no junk food in between. I was walking like 10K steps up every single day. As a result, I lost a lot of weight again, and I kept losing weight. I kept losing weight, and I thought, oh my God, I'm getting fatter, which is what body dysmorphia is. But I was losing weight, as I could tell when I went to the doctors. Then came a point, summer of this year when I was about to graduate and I was going, as you guys know about it, I was going through anxiety and depression, and I further cut down. I did not feel like eating at all, but in my head, I just thought I was getting fatter when I was losing a lot of weight where it became unhealthy. There was a point where I was 120 pounds and I still thought I looked fat. Yeah. Then I was on antidepressants, which are said to make you gain weight because you don't really pay attention to food. Which I did. I started like eating. I started to like eat kind of like mindlessly until like a month or so ago. I gained weight again. I went back to my original 150 pounds, and that's when it hit. Another comment from a person made me feel like, wow, like I mean, my mom and my dad kept saying it. Oh my God, you look fat now. You've become fat. My brother, you've become fat. We go back to that cycle of being like, oh my gosh, I got to restrict. I have to look skinny. And to be very frank, that's where I'm at right now. I lift, I eat 1 meal a day. I'm trying to eat clean. But I think I've come to the point where I realize that this is not healthy at all. So, what starts as structure slowly becomes an obsession. Like, it started out as like, oh, I just want to eat clean, but it becomes, I'm gonna eat clean no matter what. I'm obsessed with with what food I'm putting in. I'm obsessed with how many steps I'm getting, you know? I used to call it being healthy, but really I was being harsh. That inner critic pretending to be motivation. It's scary how easy it is to normalize self-punishment when everyone praises your discipline. Like when you do that shit, everyone is like, "Oh my God, you're doing so good. You look so skinny. You look so good." So like you just want to keep going, you know? And then that feeds, so that's when people start complimenting you and everyone would say, "Oh my gosh, like you eat so healthy, like say that's so good." And that further feeds the unhealthy cycle instead of helping me heal. So I currently, this is where I'm at really. I still have like bad days where like I look at myself and I'm like, oh my God, have I lost weight or not? Like, I don't know how I look. But the difference now is that I try and like catch it much sooner. Um, Awareness doesn't erase the struggle, it changes how I respond. Progress isn't perfection, it's choosing kindness when you relapse. Um, I feel like today's world, especially with how much social media we're all consuming, promotes a very unhealthy image of how your body should look like. Like, I think women feel that pressure, especially that we need to look a certain way in order to feel attractive, in order to feel accepted by society, in order to feel beautiful. But that's really not the truth. That's really not the truth. Celebrities are on Ozempic right now, and everyone's going into that skinny pandemic or going back to the um 2000s, the Y2K era. But it's really unhealthy, and I think it's important to realize that not everyone's bodies are meant to be that way. Simply not. Like, your body is structured a particular way. Yes, you can eat healthy and stuff, but how sustainable really is that, right? Like, I know even as I'm saying this that I'm always gonna watch my calories and everything, but I can only try, and I want to help you guys alongside myself in that process. So, I also realized that one day I'm gonna be pregnant, my body will stretch, grow, and change, and I won't be able to control it. So, that thought really scared me at first, but it's also grounding. My body isn't, as a woman, supposed to stay the same. It's meant to live, evolve, and carry experiences. If I can't show compassion to my body now, how will I do it when something as miraculous as creating life? So I think like that's one reason why I really felt the need to like repair my relationship with my body because I know it's inevitably going to happen where my body will change and I won't necessarily have the control of being like, oh no, it needs to look this way. Women's bodies change throughout life. Also, like realizing the fact that I'm going to have a daughter someday, I don't want to carry on this generational trauma. Like, I want to break the cycle. Like, how my mom was always criticizing her own body, always on some sort of diet. And I grew up seeing that. I don't want my daughter to see that. I want my daughter to have a healthy relationship with food. And for that, it's important for me to do that. So I encourage y'all to also reflect upon that and see that as a means of changing your relationship with your body. So, eating regularly is trust, rest is productive, movement is gratitude, and not punishment. It's important to rephrase that because I remember at one point I would, let's say, like eat a brownie and then be like, oh, I have to walk this much in order to burn it off. Like, me and my friend would literally think like that, and that is so ED coded. So, I'm slowly learning to care for my body, not the way I care for people I love patiently. Care isn't aesthetics, it's intention. So I think it's like the little things like drinking water, taking breaks, dressing comfortably, and journaling. I used to think I had to love every part of my body to heal, but some days love feels out of reach, and that's completely okay. Neutrality is enough. I have body, it's functioning, it's keeping me alive. It's important to look at it as a way of appreciating what your body does for you because it's truly miraculous how much our body does for us. And I think going into that and having gratitude for how our body helps us can possibly help us from shaming our own body for looking a certain way or not fitting a particular aesthetic. You don't have to love how you look, you just have to stop hating yourself for it. So you don't necessarily, like, I know how everyone talks about, like, oh my gosh, you have to love your body, but sometimes it's hard with all the messages that are being sent to us constantly? So I think having a neutral view towards your body sometimes is better than just being like, oh, I love my body? And then accepting fluctuations where those 2 pounds I saw, probably water, hormones, or stress. Bodies fluctuate, that's what living things do. The number didn't hurt me, the meaning I attached to it did. So my worth can't fluctuate with my weight. Um, and I think I want to stop weighing myself like that and just appreciating my body instead. I just think it's super unhealthy to keep doing that. And it can be anything. It doesn't necessarily mean because I think that's seemingly impossible that I gain like 2 pounds overnight? So this body has carried me through everything, stress, heartbreak, growth, joy. It's at its best, even when I haven't treated it kindly. It deserves compassion and gratitude, not criticism. So, everyone, let's take a deep breath. Place a hand on your heart or your stomach and just thank your body for showing up and thank it for everything it does? Let's take a moment. Um, so to end this, to close this off, I am still struggling, but also healing. Healing isn't a final destination, it's daily awareness. You don't really have to love your body today. You just have to promise not to be cruel to it. Your body isn't your enemy, it's your home. Thank you guys for listening to me, for listening to this very vulnerable incident that I shared with you guys, and for choosing kindness towards yourself today. So, just after this episode, I want you all to just list down the things you're grateful to your body for. And I want us all to grow as individuals and just start to appreciate our body instead of seeing it as a means to achieve a certain aesthetic. So, this is the Gyan Dive. Thank you for joining me in the middle of my healing. I'll see you next time. Still learning, still growing, still human. Om Namah Shivaya. I love you all.